Good evening. Happy holidays. I guess I missed Thanksgiving and now we're almost at Christmas, but whatever you're celebrating this season, I hope you have a wonderful season. And thank you for all your messages, checking in on me and asking how I am. As you can see, the hair is growing back nicely. No, this is a very funny joke by a friend. And thought it was a nice way to laugh at what I've been going through. And one of the things I want to do today is catch you all up and give you an update and talk about a few of the things I've been really thinking about on the journey and the last few weeks, really putting it all together. So today we're going to talk about perspective. But a quick update. Last time we spoke, I had gotten out of the hospital, some really good news right before my first cycle. The start of my third cycle. And that week, which was Thanksgiving week, was definitely the hardest week. I was the most weak, the most nauseous, the most taken down, and didn't really have the strength or energy that Monday through the following Wednesday, Thursday to even do much at all. I was in bed a lot, and the accumulation of the treatment was very real. And the 9-week aggressive cycle that had been prescribed, I knew obviously was going to be tough. They talked about it, but they didn't really and couldn't really prepare me for that last week of challenge. I definitely had the hardest physical week of my life, I think I'd say. Very real, very, sometimes it was like the flu, like my bones ached and I felt just weak. Sometimes it was just incredible nausea and couldn't stomach anything and wanted to throw up. Thankfully, I did not throw up during this entire process. Sorry if it's too graphic, but what they can do with nausea medication and pre-treatment and then treatment while you're getting nausea treatment while you're getting your chemotherapy, it's remarkable these days. So I am so thankful for that. So thankful for what they're able to do today's day and age. But imagining some who've gone before me and didn't have the technology and the treatment and the medical knowledge that they have now. One of the things that really spurred a lot of my thought in the last couple of weeks about some words, one of them will be empathy. We'll talk about that maybe next video. But today's video, after finishing that tough week and having 2 follow-up Mondays of treatment, today I went in just for blood work. No treatment, nothing else, just blood work, because my cycles have finished. So a huge, huge moment that I am done with my 9 weeks of intensive treatment. And now I'll spend the next few weeks getting blood work every Monday to check my progress. And on January 3rd, I'll get my CAT scan to see the progress of the tumor. Doctors are very optimistic. My blood work numbers today and the last few weeks have looked good. My reds have been stable. My whites are on the lower level, but acceptable. I've finally gotten through most of my head cold. And of course I cough as I say that, but I'm feeling like I'm on my way back to normalcy, and that is a God-given blessing. So medical advances, the power of prayer, and the support of my community, close community, my wife and son and parents, and my in-laws were here just after Thanksgiving for the week as well. Were incredibly helpful, and just been from far and wide, and people I know so close and people I don't really know at all have been just amazingly supportive. And thank you to the dozens of you that have reached out in the last week or two and said, hey, where are you? We haven't seen an update. I wasn't quite sure, if what I was doing and saying was making an impact. But clearly some of you were certainly absolutely praying for me and supporting me. And so that that has been evident the whole time, and even just some of you reaching out in the last few weeks asking how I'm doing was very meaningful as well. So here I am with the update, and in good health, on my way to health, with very good prognosis, but I'm not getting ahead of myself. I mean, there is still a road ahead. And that's one of the things I've been really meditating on and thinking about. And the word for me is perspective. You know, I found in this process that it's given me a different perspective and a greater perspective on so many things. One of them, as the treatment was coming to the end, I heard the Frank Sinatra song, My Way, right? And now the end is near. You think about the phrase, the end is near. Your perspective on that could really change the way you see the world, right? The end is near. It's coming to a close, a positive. This could be the end of the treatment, or the end is near. It's all coming to an end, and the world is ending, and things are terrible. You know, I'd like to think that if we keep our eyes on the end of the negative is near, the end of the treatment, the end of the pain, the end of the divisiveness, the end of all the negative things, if they're coming to an end for a future of positivity, man, it sure makes your attitude and your head be so much better, freer, and more comfortable with yourself and the world you're living in. And so that kind of perspective on, are you seeing the end of things as a terrible thing, or are you seeing the end of things as the beginning of something new, right? Opening a door after one is closed, that kind of perspective. Well, for me, I'm choosing that the end of the treatment is near. I'm praying that the tumor is eradicated and that I can get back to the healthy self that I am. But I know that that's not always the case for everyone. And so the perspectives may be different when the prognosis is not as good. I'm not saying that, keep a positive attitude no matter what. There is time, like it says, a time for peace and war, a time for love and hate, a time for, there is a time for every feeling and every emotion, but how we approach them with our perspective is so key. The other perspective issue that I've really been running through is just, some things that used to matter just aren't going to matter as much anymore. Those little things that would get in your way, annoy you. Those of you who are married know how little things can turn into things that it shouldn't be. Man, it's so much less important that those little things in life matter to me anymore. And going through this journey has given me the perspective of the scope and the scale of things that would, could, or should matter. So that little comment that might have gotten under my skin, that little action that might have peeved me in the past, it just doesn't and shouldn't. And I am committed to not letting it do that to me anymore. Not hanging on every little thing that might seem like a big deal or become a big deal when realistically it's just not. So I'm thankful for that perspective. And then the other perspective on the big versus little is the things that matter in the world and globally. Of course, is it important to think about and be compassionate to things like hunger and climate and things that are important in the world, but the perspective of what's going on in your own house, in your own neighborhood, your local community, with your family, with your loved ones. Sometimes we think too big and too much perspective outside of ourselves, that we're not putting the energy and the focus on those things right in front of our face. So perspective is this two-sided coin, right? We want to have perspective and don't sweat the small stuff, right? As they say, don't care too much about the things that are so small. But the other part of it is committing ourselves to seeing the things that are right in front of us. The needs of your spouse, of your child, of your parents that are right in front of you, that you can address and make a difference in immediately. as opposed to, oh, I got to worry about these big things. I got to think about these political issues, these global issues, the truth is, I think the best way we can make a difference on the big scale is by starting the fire on the little scale. I start this fire every morning and keep it going throughout the day. And sometimes it burns down to the tiniest of embers and flames. And I have to give it care and attention at the littlest stage in order to make it flame again. And so, the perspective of this big picture health thing that happened to me made me realize if I'm not putting the energy in those small moments of life, the health, my health, the small things that matter to my health, it might turn into a big picture thing when it didn't have to. And that can be in relationships, it can be in health, it can be in work. The energies you put in, those little energies you put in every day can make a huge difference in affecting the overall big picture. So a lot of a lot of thought has gone into perspective and properly placing things in my life, perspective in my life. So just wanted to share that with you. The next time I want to talk about empathy. It's been a huge learning lesson for me during this health crisis. And I think the final one, I'll want to talk about gratitude and appreciation for the things that we do have in our lives. So if you want to stick around for some of those other thoughts along my journey, and I will update on any developments that happen now through January, certainly. But I think it's going to be quieter, and I think it's going to be maybe once every 2 to 3 weeks. I'll post something up. I'm not a social media influencer. I'm not posting videos every day or week. But again, I am very appreciative that you guys have spent time with me and supported me in this journey. And feel free to reach out privately. And as I get back to full strength, I can interact with you guys via email or not huge on social media, but if you send me a message through my website or something, I can react, and if we'd like to start a conversation, if appropriate, I will. So thank you again, and hope you will think about perspective on all those things in your life. All right, take care.